All right, guys, so we're going to take a look at part 3 of our road trip project. So in front of you, you see the coordinate plane of the United States. And the last task that you were asked was to pick a final destination in California. You had a couple options there, and you could, you were supposed to plot it. Again, I'm just putting a plot here. This may not be where yours is. But you were plotting a destination in California. And then we also looked at, hey, we're all from Pittsburgh. We're going to start our destination in Pittsburgh. So we also had point A, which was Pittsburgh, identified. The very last step that you did in part 2 was you drew a line through all the points. So your graph that you turned in should look like this in the end, having point A on there, point F, and a line drawn through. Today, what we're going to be focusing on is calculating the distance of each portion of your trip. Again, we're on the road for 5 days, so there are 5 segments that we're going to be calculating. So the first one we're going to look at is from A to B, right? And again, if we're looking at distance on a two-dimensional figure, on a coordinate plane, we use the distance formula. All right, so what we're going to be completing today is on page 11 of your paper packet. If you do not have a paper packet, unfortunately, you're going to have to get some scratch paper and show your work on paper, and either way, submitting a picture for your assignment. So the distance formula, on your paper packet, you do have this information. It's on the top. But if not, again, if you're working on paper and pencil, the distance formula is right here. So we subtract our x values, square it, and we add it to the difference of our y values. So that is your distance formula. Now, in order to calculate different portions of our trip, we're going to be using those ordered pairs from page 9. So I'm going to go ahead and just put them up here. You can also check your answers on page 9. But this is the information that you should have. So Pittsburgh was already established for you. It's at the location of 1715. The St. Louis Arch in Missouri is located at the ordered pair 610. Ashfall fossil beds in Nebraska was -216. Old Faithful in Wyoming, -14. Doesn't really look like it. Okay, so Old Faithful in Wyoming was -1419. Las Vegas, Nevada is -2110. And then again, for F, it depended on what location you picked. So if you were in San Francisco, your ordered pair was -2813. There was 5 choices in general, and the packet was included with those ordered pairs. So this last one is going to vary person by person. And again, it depended on what destination you chose to pick to visit. All right, so calculating the distance. So we're going to first calculate part A to part B, point A to point B. So again, going back on my graph, I'm looking at what was my distance between Pittsburgh down to the St. Louis Arch. Okay, so in order to do that, this is what I would like for you to do. I want you to go ahead and set up your formula and show your work here. So in the middle, again, if I'm looking to set up my distance formula for point A to point B, I'm only kind of focusing in on these first 2 ordered pairs here because I'm only concerned about A and B. Now I'm going to subtract my x values because that's what my formula tells us. Our x values for the first 2 points are 17 and 6. And I'm going to go ahead and square it. My second portion of my formula, or my distance formula, is I'm going to add it to the difference or the subtraction of my y values, which you can see from my points there are 15 and 10. So guys, I just want you to fill in the formula and I want you to set it up. Now again, when you go to actually do the work, you are free to use the distance calculator online. I found that that was just kind of an easier method for us, something that's accessible at any point in time. You can always access the internet and use that calculator. So if you are looking at your Canvas, today's Thursday, or you can even go to the assignments if you're doing this past due, but you're looking for road trip part 3 distance. Okay, that's the title of this. This is where you found the instructional video, I suppose. But the distance calculator is located in the middle of your assignment. So you can go ahead and click on it. And when you're looking at using it, if you notice, here's my first order of pair, x, y, that's of point A, and x, y of point B. So again, my first coordinate, I was leaving Pittsburgh. My coordinates were 1715, and traveling to the St. Louis Arch, my order pair is 610. And then you just go ahead and hit calculate. And then down here below, 12.08305 is my distance. Now, just like before, you don't have to write it all out. Just to the nearest tenth, one decimal spot past would be acceptable. So this would be 12.1. So I'm going to go ahead and write 12.1. Same thing for point B to C. Okay, so you're going to come to your order pairs here. You're going to have to probably flip to page 9, right, of where your order pairs are, as long as they are the correct values. But this time we're focusing in on B and C. And again, I want you guys to show me the work of how you'd set up your formula. So you're going to, again, kind of fill in your stuff. Go ahead to the online calculator, plug in these order pairs, and get a number. So I'm going to go ahead and leave these open. I'm not going to work through all of them together. But again, you're filling in your formula, showing me the correct setup, and then using that online calculator to plug in your values to get your answer. So the calculator online does kind of all the dirty work. All right, so let's take a look at the bottom. There are 3 analysis questions. So just for the time being, now please disclaimer, these are not correct answers. So let's say I go through and I do all my work and these are the answers that I get. Okay? My analysis questions. The first one says, from which 2 points did you travel the farthest distance? Now remember, your answers are the distance that you travel from each point. So if I kind of compare it to my graph, so again for a visual, from A to B, I traveled 12.1. From B to C, now again, remember I made these numbers up, we traveled 8. From C to D, we traveled 15, and so forth. So when it's asking you which 2 points did you travel the farthest distance, you're looking for the largest number, guys. And in this case, and again, I made this up, so please keep that in mind. Do not just blindly copy this. Which 2 points did I travel the farthest distance? From D to E. So you could write D to E. You could also give me a little bit more and say, hey, what is D to E? Oh, it was from when I went to Wyoming to Nevada. Cool. That's when I did the farthest distance of traveling. All right, from which 2 points did I travel the least? So again, hopefully you realize the farthest was the greatest number, the least is my smallest number. And again, look through your data, find the smallest number, and tell me from what points you traveled. Total distance you traveled from start to finish. So again, this is your data from your road trip. I traveled 12.1 from Pittsburgh to Missouri. Then I traveled 8 from Missouri to Nebraska. Then I traveled 15 from Nebraska to Wyoming, 17 from Wyoming to Nevada, and then 3 more to my final destination. So if I'm looking for the total, hopefully you know what operation you use when you're finding the total of something. And this last answer here should be a number value. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But I would like for you to submit a picture of page 11 or your written work of page 11. There's also a picture in your assignment. So again, if you do not have a paper packet, you're going to have to write this information down on it in a piece of paper. But either way, you're submitting a picture of it for credit. All right, good luck. And again, reach out if you need any help.